Welcome to Týrcast number 10. This is a great day for us. We've made 10 of the. Actually, we made 12 because 2 were bonus. So, but let's pretend this is an anniversary podcast. My name is Heri Johansson. I am the guitar player and singer of the band Týr, and I am in Prague, in Czechia.
Gunnar Thompson. I'm the bass player in Týr, and I'm here in the raining Faroe Islands at the moment.
Hello, dudes and dudettes. I'm Tad. I'm the drummer of Týr, and I'm not in Budapest, Hungary, but in Sopron, Hungary. I'm visiting some relatives this weekend.
Excellent.
Yes.
We put out episodes on the 7th and the 22nd of each month at 1700 Central European Time. That's 5 p.m. And we'd ask you to please subscribe to our channel, like and share this video, and hit the notification bell so YouTube lets you know when we put out new material. You can get early access to the Týrcast and some audio-only versions of the Týrcast, plus some extra material by supporting us on patreon.com/Týrband. And our heartfelt thanks to those who already support us on Patreon. That's partly how we're trying to make a little bit of money. One other way is by making and releasing music and having it available to the public in some formats. It could be LP, CD, or streaming online, which is a bloody mess, to tell you the truth. A few weeks ago, maybe a bit more than a month ago, I subscribed to all the platforms there are, and I may have wasted some money, but it gave me some insight. I subscribed to Napster, Tidal, Deezer, Amazon Music, Spotify, and Apple Music for a month.
All of them?
And
wow.
All of them, just to see, what they look like, what they can do, how musicians can use them. And which ones do you use?
I switched to Tidal like 2 or 3 months ago after I did some digging regarding the payments, So yeah, I was using Spotify for quite a while, but I mean Tidal is just looking like it. I mean the search engine is not as good as in Spotify, but it's basically the same with the difference that it's paying more to the musicians. So what gives?
Gunnar?
Well, iTunes was on the phone, so iTunes it was. I used on one phone Deezer, or whatever it's called, and that was. I frankly don't give a shit.
Oh, actually, I was using also Google Music. Is that still a thing? I mean,
I think it is. I think it is.
That I have to save my music somewhere else because it's going to disappear or something like that. I don't know.
I never tried it, but I think it's the thing. Yes, they're trying to do the same thing. Apple Music and iTunes is the same thing. I think iTunes is being discontinued. So that I'm not sure how it works,
right.
But I still have iTunes. I think you have it through your subscription with Apple. I'm not sure about how that works exactly.
It's all together. You when you get your device, you have to have an Apple ID.
Yeah.
And through that, you get the iTunes as well.
Yeah. I believe that's how it works. Yes. Anyway,
but then you can choose if you want to pay for the full service.
Yeah.
That's not. You don't have to. I mean.
Yeah.
If you want the service, you pay for it.
I probably do because I never noticed any ads on there. I guess that's what you pay for, not having ads on it. I've never seen ads on iTunes, at least. Not on the one I have.
No, I don't think so.
So,
of course,
what
I got
interested.
Well, Napster, which is proudly hailed in many articles as I have seen as the service that pays the most to musicians, and by far the most even, is not very usable. For example, if you as a musician want to share some of your music, they have a separate Napster organization for Europe and for the US. So if you have a link, you get it here in Europe and you share it, only Europeans can use it. If you're in the US, it won't lead you anywhere. You need a separate link for other markets. I'm not sure how divided it is, but I know at least the US and the Europe market is divided. So it's not very user-friendly. And
right.
the service they provide with the app is a bit messy. I didn't like it that much.
So it should really be called Crapster.
I wouldn't go that far. They're not the worst, but let's call it Crapster. As far as I can see, if you're not satisfied with iTunes or Spotify for paying reasons, Tidal is really the best service there is. It looks pretty much just like Spotify, and they provide the same service, I think, and they pay more, almost as much as Napster. And then I started, there were some cases about Spotify faking the numbers of big artists or of bigger artists, just buying them to turn up their numbers, and some cases of possible money laundering and stream farms where people simply have, I don't know, 100 iPhones lined up all on Spotify and playing the first 30 seconds. If you play 30 seconds of a song on Spotify, it counts as one listen. Doesn't matter if the song is an hour long. It makes no difference, which is kind of weird, I think. I've seen some pictures of it online where people have stream farms. They have all their telephones lined up and they are set to play 30 seconds of any specific song. Whoever plays from them, and they go to the next one, and so on and so forth. And there are ways for Spotify to stop this, but as I understand it, there's a lot of money in it for them as well, so they're not stopping it, and this simply takes away money from other people who would make it. And one of the stranger things I came across was a band that made an album with songs consisting only of silence, and asking their fans to stream it on repeat while they were sleeping, so that they would get the money. And it worked. They got
genius.
A crap load of streams, and people were listening to the silence that they released. I thought so. There are these strange things going on, and I thought maybe Spotify would be the worst and Tidal would be better, but no. There was a case starting in 2016 where someone revealed that they had faked the numbers of some big artists at Tidal. That was I don't remember the artist. One of the very biggest pop artists. There are hundreds of millions of streams were just conjured out of thin air, and of course they were paid tens, maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars for those streams.
Right.
The case is still ongoing, and someone is suing them for forgery. And how, for example, money laundering would work through these services is that you have some money that's illegal and you can't use it for anything, but you can buy ads or buy plays on a stream farm that's already illegal, and then the money comes out as royalty on the other side. And I'm not sure anyone's been convicted of this, but what would stop this is I think two things: government regulation and forced two-factor authentication, where you get a text message to authenticate your profile to prove that you're not a bot but you're actually a person. And none of the services that I tried used two-factor authentication. So, and I think the explanation might be that there's too much money in them in this for them to stop the illegal activities. But this takes millions away from us honest and hardworking musicians that would otherwise be split quite differently. and it's very motivating to dig in this because the only way to stop it would be government saying that it's illegal or the service they provide is simply too convenient to ask people to not use anymore because it's not good for musicians.
Yeah. Did you try Bandcamp as well? I mean, that's not really a streaming.
Well,
it's,
this one time at Bandcamp.
Don't go down that road.
I didn't try.
And your flute.
I didn't try Bandcamp.
Well,
And
I mean,
my flute came up the stream. Enterprise.
The Metal Blade has to your Bandcamp, and I don't have access to that. I'm not sure how I would even make that. So I don't have insight or any. I have no way of looking into that.
Yeah. Well, they seem to be the good guys of the.
They don't come up on the list when you look at who pays the best. Not even close.
No, because this. Well, it's not actually a streaming service. You know, it's just like an encyclopedia of all the bands they are active right now out there, and you can buy merch of them right like through them. But I mean, there's also like really huge bands and very very underground bands as well. I mean, even my band where I was singing is on there, and that is really really darn underground. So
how does Bandcamp work? Do bands put themselves up, or
yes, you can just make a profile. You know, like similar to Facebook. You just make a profile for your band or for yourself as a musician. And you can put your music on there. You can make your music available in MP3 or FLAC or WAV as well. So in better quality, and all kinds of merch. You know, so it's if you're very old school and you don't want to have an own homepage, this could function as your alternative homepage. And they're wavering every month or every 2 months for 1 day all the royalties they would get, or all the money they would get from.
Tadeusz, I have to stop you. Gunnar's gonna fall asleep.
I'm sorry. Let's go
look,
to
let's
tour
story. Look. My basic point is, it's a wasteland, but people are not gonna abandon streaming because you simply can't. The way people listen to music today,
it's too convenient.
You have your device with you at work, everywhere. You listen to whatever you want at any time, and no matter how bad it is for artists or how illegal their activities may be, it's simply too convenient to let go of. And
right.
People
we're stuck there.
Buy CDs and albums.
Yes,
it's much more fun.
Exactly.
And go to the concerts. Even more fun.
Absolutely.
Let's just do that.
That's what's going to keep us afloat.
It's good for us.
Buy our CDs, LPs, come to our shows, and buy our merch.
Yes, please.
And support us on Patreon. So when we go on tour again, we will see many more of you at the shows than ever before. And this time, unlike the other time with Demons and Wizards, I will not miss my flight.
Tell us about that story, Mr. Jönsson.
when you travel so much, you get kind of relaxed about flights. If you fly once every 5 or 10 years, you get very excited about having a flight and making sure you're on time and everything is right. But when you fly twice a month, you get kind of careless and you
twice a day.
I'll make it, no problem. So we were on our way to the tour with Demons and Wizards and Orphaned Land in the US. And I got the flight information from our manager and I set my alarm.
That was a different. Orphaned Land was not there.
Demons and Wizards, and who was there?
The 80s.
Lizzie Borden.
Lizzie Borden. Yeah,
Lizzie Borden.
Yeah.
Which tour was this then? Am I mixing them up?
No. I think
no.
it was the one. It was Orphaned Land was just back in 2018, I think. This was in 2019.
Aha.
No, just to make stuff even more interesting, I got late for this tour as well. But it was not my fault. It was not my fault.
Look, yeah, I remember that. But so I realized in the morning, sometime in the early before noon, that I had simply mistaken the time AM with PM, and my flight was not at 5 or 7 in the evening, but 7 in the morning. And I panicked. Chronicle broke and no money to buy a new flight, and I searched the internet for the cheapest flight I could find, and ended up finding a flight from Frankfurt am Main in Germany to Las Vegas in the US. Our tour started in New Mexico.
Arizona.
Arizona, right. And the cheapest flight I could find went from Frankfurt am Main to Las Vegas, yeah. And I got on a bus here, and I didn't sleep for 2 days on this trip. And my plan was when I got to Las Vegas to take the Greyhound to Arizona. And fortunately, I was so tired when I got there, and I thought, how on earth am I gonna get from Las Vegas airport to the Greyhound station? I've so I called Brian Slagle, or wrote to him. He's the owner of Metal Blade Records, and asked him if he could do me a wonderful favor and just get me from the airport to the Greyhound station, and I would be forever in debt to him. So I got there, got all my stuff in his car, we didn't even go to his car. I don't remember. We just went around the airport and said, you know what, I'll buy you a flight. And out of his own pocket, out of his own graciousness, he bought me a new flight from Las Vegas to Arizona, wherever it was. Was it Phoenix, Arizona? Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. So that saved me, a whole night. It's a long trip on the Greyhound, especially. But I was willing to do that. It was my bad, and I wasted some money just on getting the flights back. But that's what happens, and I've actually done it.
Thanks.
I've done it absolutely.
Yeah, thanks, Brian.
By the way, this is recorded on the 14th of February, and it's Brian's birthday today. He's turning 60.
No way!
Yes, it is.
Happy birthday, Brian.
Happy birthday, Mr. Slagle.
Unfortunately, this happy birthday wish will come will be published one week late, but I'll send this to him as soon as we have it up on YouTube. That's not the first time I've done that, by the way, miss a flight.
No.
Hopefully, it was the last time.
But actually, on that same tour, I was flying in from. I was staying in Moscow, so I was supposed to fly from Moscow to Phoenix, Arizona, and my flight got late from Moscow to Frankfurt. So I missed the flight in Frankfurt. It's not my fault. It's the plane from Russia that was late, due to a bus that had been, with all the crew to the flight, had been delayed. So that's how it can go. And anyway, I got bumped up to first class on a flight to Chicago from Frankfurt.
Nice.
Not first class, not first class, business class, whatever. It was fucking awesome. And I didn't even believe that it was my seat. I had to ask the stewardess. I said, "This can't be right." Yes, it is, Mr. Thompson. And she said, "Mr. Thompson," the whole fucking flight. I was like, "Well, this is heaven." So So that's how a real star has it. So I had to try. But anyway, I had to fly to Chicago, and of course they said, "Yeah, you'll make the flight in Chicago." Missed the flight in Chicago, so I had to stay overnight in Chicago, and then the day after fly to Phoenix. And of course, when I landed in Phoenix, my bass guitar did not arrive on time. So we almost had to go out and buy. We were contemplating buying a new bass for that evening. But luckily, the bass arrived, I think, 10 minutes before the show or something like that.
It was something like that, yeah.
It was interesting.
Also not the first time.
That's how tours can go.
Oh yeah, almost every time. We have a long list of questions for this one. Let's jump into the first one.
Yes.
Shannon Lorum asks, how do your jobs handle you leaving for several months at a time while you on tour? I think we talked about this last time. It's very important to have a nice boss, someone who understands your situation and is willing to accommodate your travels. Now, I haven't had a day job for some time now, but when I did, at some times in my life, especially when I was living in Denmark, and I was a postman, I had an extraordinarily nice boss who was very willing to let me go for weeks and months at a time. If you don't have that, you'll be fired, which I also have been.
Yeah. I always made it very clear to whoever I worked for that if I get a call right now to go and play a show somewhere, I will go. So, but on the other hand, I'm willing to do extra chores here and there. So it kind of helps, and I think the most bosses I've had have been pretty nice about everything. But it's not easy to find a job like that.
No.
I have to agree. I mean, I had some pretty nice bosses as well back in the day when I was working for a company. But now for the last couple of years, I've been a freelancer. I translate when I'm not making music, so that's very good because I even did it on several tours that I during the day I worked a little bit and then made some music in the evening. So that's quite convenient. But also back in the day when I was working for a company, I had usually the luck of having a nice and understanding boss. But also I quit several times because they just didn't want to let me go on tour, and I just said, well, not even on tour, because back then, I mean, like 8-10 years ago, we were only going for 1, 2, maybe 3 shows on a weekend or something, or on a Thursday. And but yeah, I quit several workplaces because I always said, well, this is number one. Work is never going to be number one for me. It's always so they were like, yeah. Well, we'll see then when it comes to that. And well, it came to that,
Yes, inevitably.
But I think there's one very important thing that you can do, or it's possible to do, is within the band that if you have a time schedule, when you know in advance that we're going on tour those dates, then you can let then your boss can know that in quite far in advance.
Yeah,
that helps to relieve, because then he can be prepared for there's going to be a person missing.
It's not like it used to be.
It's not always possible, Mum.
It used to be much shorter notice, but nowadays, we usually know at least half a year in advance before we go on tour.
Right.
Exactly.
It wasn't always like that.
Yeah. Let me just say that if you're a beginning band, that ain't gonna fly. You're gonna get offers right now and here, and you have to take them. Yeah. Well.
Shannon Loram asks another question. What do you guys like to stock up on to take home with when you are in the USA? Any kinds of foods or goodies you can't get anywhere else that you absolutely enjoy? In the US, I don't really think so. There are a few things I like to eat while I'm in the US, but there's nothing I've found that can't be found elsewhere, honestly. Not that I can think of.
Is it specifically food you're talking about, or?
I guess anything. No, first she asked about foods, but then anything.
I always like to try to buy guitar or bass that I really want, because you have a much better possibility of finding something quite neat and old in the US. And also I like to buy some vintage dive gear service parts for that in the US, because they have a fucking lot of it in the US. So stuff like that.
No food or no goodies whatsoever. I like to buy, one or two fridge magnets from the places I've never been before, and of course records. I love vinyl. So yeah, vinyl stores, record stores, and those are really nice. Usually in the US, I mean.
It's vinyl heaven in the US.
Oh yes,
that's for sure. Yeah,
very much so.
Kansas City. I don't collect vinyl at all. I can see the charm in it, but the one thing I bought in the US that I don't think I could get elsewhere really is a real cowboy hat, a black one. It was very expensive, and it was sold in a real cowboy store in, I don't know, Colorado or somewhere. That was nice. But I don't like, you're usually, overpacked when you come anyway, and buying something big, you're just going to have more home with you, and I really don't like that.
You have to be clever about it. You have to take less with you and be able to bring something back.
Yeah, sure.
So.
But somehow
or if you're prepared to pay overweight for yourself, that's of course
exactly
one way of doing it. Yeah.
Next question from Katarina van Dalen. Hello again, Kat. Great to have you on the podcast, as much as this is. How do you keep the music of Týr and Surma apart? How much influence spills over from one to the other? Well, that's very easy. All music for Surma is made by Victoria. She makes the melodies, and then I add the music, and that's how all the songs are made. When it comes to Týr, either it's a traditional melody or one of us made it. So there's no spillover there. Second question from Katarina. Will there be a second Heri record at some point? Answer is yes, there will be, and probably in 10 years from now, or 15 maybe. Her third question is, how is the search for a new guitar player going? I believe we talked about this in one of the podcasts.
We did.
We have, as soon as we have a tour, we have a specific guy, he's from the Faroes, that we want to take with us on tour and see how it goes. So I would say it's going pretty well.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, of course. You don't know until you try it.
No.
That's the way it works with these things. I lost it here. Oh, she has so many questions, Kat. She asks, Heri, what's the status of the vegetarian weeks you are planning on going vegan, if only for the experience? Yeah, I think we'll talk about that when we get to the challenge section in this.
Okay, yeah.
In this part. Next question is, are there things you currently cannot do to Corona and don't miss at all, and hope will never return? That's a strange question. No, things I'm glad I don't have to do because of Corona. I don't know. I'm not very social. I don't like going out to meet people very much. It's sad to say, but that's what I'm like. And there's been very little of that. And sometimes you're kind of forced to go meet some people that you otherwise would never see or hang out with. And you find yourself suddenly in some party where people are, smoking and being stupidly drunk. I don't want to point fingers at anybody, and I understand people think that's fun, but that's really not my thing. And I'm not missing that at all. You gentlemen?
I've got no, I got none. I mean,
Me neither.
You miss
neither.
there's
everything.
a lot of things I miss. I miss everything.
Yeah,
Look,
me too. Not
I mean,
everything, but many things.
Me too.
Yeah.
I mean, work-wise, nothing really changed for me. I mean, I'm sitting hours and hours in front of my computer when I'm not on tour, and I'm working. Well, I'm working out in the gym, but I'm really missing the gym, and I'm really missing touring. But stuff I don't miss, nah, not really.
Oh yeah. There's one thing. There's not very many tourists here in the Faroe Islands right now.
That's a good point. That's a good point. In the center of Prague, also, I mean, it's beautifully desolate. But I understand the industry is suffering. But it's really nice in a way.
No, I don't mind the tourists. They're okay.
When there are so many, you can't even walk. I mean,
Yeah, well.
there must be an upper limit to it. Anyway, her next question is from Katarina. Gunnar, have you made your own bass, or are you planning to?
No, I've made actually 2 basses, and I have the third one. It's more or less finished. I just need to put it together. And but unfortunately, I don't always have that good of a time. I always get disturbed because I have my small little workshop outside, and every time I go out there, somebody knocks on the door and says, "Hey, can you help me with something?" so I never get around to finish anything. So, but I actually have made a bass right now that I'm quite excited about. It turned out pretty well. I hope it plays well. So well, in 1 week or 14 days, that should be done.
I have a great suggestion for you, Gunnar. Next time you go to the workshop, lock the door and turn Iron Maiden up to 10.
Believe me, people, they knock on the fucking window.
Slam it in the face. No, I can't help you. Help yourself. And the last question from Katarina is actually from her 7-year-old daughter, Juno. Why do you headbang when you're playing music?
It's involuntarily.
Yeah, it's a reflex.
It's a reflex.
I think it's how you feel you should look when you play heavy metal. I don't know.
Well, we don't actually headbang that much. Not like a headbang, whatever.
Not like
we don't do that.
Corpse Grinder or I'm
No, exactly, or something like that.
No, we don't really do that, but a little bit.
A little bit.
Then she asks,
it's all a part of a natural dance when you play music, I guess. This kind of music, anyway.
The metal ballet.
Dance, you can call it dance. Yeah.
Let's call it a ballet.
Yeah.
She asks, and for Heri, does your guitar have a name? My guitar is called the Mjolnir, and that name came from the Ragnarok guitar maker. Peter Glanville asks, how much do you charge to play a guitar solo or a bass line or a drum track on someone else's track? If someone wanted you to guest on their album, how much would you charge?
It depends.
I wouldn't.
I've done a few guest appearances. I've done almost all of them for free. I've only asked for money if it was absolutely necessary. I think if someone asked me and I knew them personally, I wouldn't ask for money for it. Unless I desperately needed it.
I did some stuff for free as well. But now, for example, in April, I'm going to to record the drums for black metal album. So since it's a whole album, we agreed on I think decent price.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. So but I mean like for one song or like one drum line, it's nice to be even part of something like that. I mean, I would do the whole album for free, but it's quite substantial work. So
I can hear you very reluctant in giving information to the money you actually get for it.
I don't think that would be.
It's actually not that much, especially if we're talking about Western European standards. So.
Honestly, I don't think I would. If a random person asked me to play on their album, I think I would most likely turn it down. I would do it for friends, and I would do it for free. And that's it.
I probably never would do that, and I've never been asked. So.
Mm-hmm. That solves your problem.
Yeah, that solves my problem.
Peter Glanville asks another question. Is there a particular time signature and or key signature or mode you guys find most interesting in which to play? Yes. I mean, most Faroese ballads come in Dorian and with 9/4 or alternating between 4/4 and 3/4. I'm not sure I would find that more interesting. It's just that's what I've been working on because that's how Faroese traditional music is made. But it also comes in all kinds of other keys and time signatures. If I write music from scratch, it's usually in 4/4 and nothing specific about it time-wise, unless I think the song calls for it. And I think I like best to use Dorian because that's what I got used to through Faroese folk music.
I like to play I really like to play triplets and quintuplets in terms of time signature, 5/4, 5/4, and 7/8. So I hope we can put some of those on the new album as well.
Oh.
Yeah.
We'll see about that. Right?
I see the light leaving Gunnar's eyes.
No. I actually do like broken rhythms quite a lot, but anything that rocks the bejesus out of you, that's good for me. So.
Yeah, it's not the time signature that makes it good.
No, it works.
That's true. Yeah.
It's the whole unity. If it's good, it's good.
Absolutely.
Oh.
Asker asks. What do you enjoy most on the process of making music? Composing, recording, releasing an album, going on tour? I think I said it many times. The composing part is by far my favorite. It's the last thing I could do without. But I like the other things too.
For my part, it's composing and actually more arranging, which I find very exciting. It doesn't matter who has the idea. It's more about putting everything together, and here the final result of that is very exciting. And of course, touring is my absolute favorite. That's what I live for. I would do touring every single day if I could. So
for me, touring as well, definitely. So that's just my essence, my quintessence. And actually, recording, I grew into it. I used to be afraid of recording because like 15 years ago, because I was just not good enough.
Mm-hmm.
But I really like the process, and I especially in the last 3-4 years, actually almost since I'm with you guys, I grew to like more and more to write songs of my own as well.
You're welcome.
I would say recording-wise, back in the days when you actually went into a studio, I love that. What we do now, not so much. But that's modern times, unfortunately.
Yeah. Some questions from Little Lady Seraphine again. Do you guys practice any of the old ways hedonism? If I'm incorrect in what I'm asking, I apologize. And what religions, if any, do you label yourselves as?
Ass? Did you say ass?
Several times, and without shame.
I think he said butt as well.
And there was a butt in there too. And if I had to nail down my philosophical...
He said nail!
Nail!
Oh.
Nail, dude, you're talking to kids!
I would have to say I'm an atheist or a rationalist. I just have a great interest in Nordic tradition, and with that comes, the folk music and the paganism and everything. I don't see it as a religion, and I don't think people should take it literally at all. It's not meant to be taken literally, and that's my point about it.
Well, I don't consider me religious at all. I don't exclude anything, let's say it like that. I mean, we'll see what happens when we die.
No, you won't.
So, or we won't. You don't know. And I think because I don't like to be called anything. To be called an atheist, well, what does that actually mean?
Just means you find none of the religious arguments convincing.
Yeah, but
it's only a name because religion is there.
Yeah, exactly. And I prefer not to be called anything really. Just a non-believer.
Fair enough.
And yeah, that's about it, I guess.
I have to agree with both of you, but I would call myself an atheist as well, because I was actually raised in quite a Christian way, but I was pretty young when I started to doubt the whole thing. So atheism it is for me, definitely, but I really adore the mythology behind it, the cultural aspect of it, and even the philosophical aspect of polytheism as well.
The whole thing, the whole thing about this religion and other stuff, it's really interesting. There's no way, two ways about that.
Exactly.
It's very interesting.
Yes.
And it's interesting to think that why do we as human actually need to believe in something? This could be a long conversation, but I'll just say it's all very interesting, and I do understand why people choose different ways.
Yeah.
So.
You know what? I would love to make this subject of one of our future podcasts. So let's get deeper into this on another one. This could be a long conversation. That's true.
Oh, yes.
She asked another question. Is there anything about Norse mythology that you guys don't agree with? Yes. I mean, if you dig into Norse mythology, there's plenty of terrible stuff there, and I meet a few people here and there who claim they believe in it literally. They believe Odin exists in person and is interested in what happens to them. I find that at least as silly as believing in any other religion, literally, and I don't agree with it at all. There's a clear division of what do you call it, status of people in Norse mythology, and I don't agree with that. You should have a country or a nation where you're free to move up and down the social hierarchy if you work on that, and you shouldn't be stuck as as a slave as they are in histories, and if you're born like that. The stories may tell us something, but many of them are horrible and reveal aspects of a society that's long gone and should be absolutely not encouraged in today's society. That's my point. Do you have anything to say about that?
No,
they remain as good stories.
Yes,
and that's how we should.
Yeah,
I have to agree with that as well. I mean, these are stories from times long gone. But I mean, you can just as there is some truth, or there might be some truth in the Bible, but you just don't have to. You mustn't take it word by word. I mean, you can take the stories of old of mythology and learn from it, and even make some parallels with our current world, or to our current world, of course, and learn from that. But take it like directly how it's written or how it is told. It's just silly. You're just shutting out your own sense of reality.
Next question, before we get too bogged down in that one. Do you guys have any pets? If
Yes.
not, what kind of pet do you want? I have no pet, and I would love to have a cat, but the prospect of touring just means there's no chance.
We do have a dog, not on purpose. I got stuck with a dog. I have a very small Pomeranian, which is very funny too. I take it out walking almost every day.
Lulu.
It's called Lulu. And it's extremely funny how people react when you're a big guy with long hair and you come walking with that kind of small dogs. And it works well with the ladies, by the way. They all stop and say, "Ooh." No. It's quite fun. It's a cute dog. No.
It is.
But I would personally prefer. I love cats, and I would if a dog, a little bit bigger dog, like a Labrador or something like that. That's more suiting, I think. It's a good dog. It's a good dog.
Well, I myself, I don't own a pet right now. I mean, we always had horses, and I still have a horse who just turned 29 on Friday. So
Holy moly, that's ancient.
Yeah.
That's quite old for a horse.
Yeah, but he is well, my mother takes care of him now, because I live in Budapest and she lives near to the border. So I mean, it would have been just too difficult to take him with me
on tour.
On tour, of course, yes, on tour, and to the capital as well. So he
what kind of
he is he's a half breed, half cold blood, like the really heavy ones, and half full blood. So he was back in the day. He was a mean son of a bitch. He was very fast and very well. He had a temper. he broke several of my bones and bit off some pieces out of me. Yeah. But he was a bastard. But we are good friends till the very day. I was just visiting him today, so
nice.
He's okay.
I didn't know any of that.
I did at one point have horses as well.
Yeah, you told me.
Yeah. So those are nice.
Second,
nice animals.
Excuse me. Last question from the lady Seraphine. Where do you see the band in the future, and what do you want to do after you retire? Those are two questions. I can see us only growing and touring more, and I will never retire unless I'm absolutely forced to.
Me too.
And after that, I hope I die.
Yeah, I see us lying on the beaches in Hawaii. with some nice. Oh no, we have lace. What am I talking about? Woohoo! Oh,
I'm not gonna edit that out.
No, no, I don't know. I think the same thing. I hope I'm gonna do this until I die.
Yeah. Me too.
But
Me too.
but I hope business gets a little bit better. Just to say, that would be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good, Thaddeus.
More questions.
No,
more questions. Yes.
I totally agree. I can't say anything else to that. I could imagine to like dying at 90 years old on stage, so that's fine.
Let's do that. Next questioner is
Yes.
Megan Badger. She asks, Tad, do you
Badgers? We don't need
Megan-
those stinking badgers.
There we go again. She asked Thaddeus, do you have a favorite folktale from where you grew up? She doesn't specify if that would be German or Hungarian.
Well, I mean, when I was little, both my parents read quite a lot of folk tales in the evening, especially by the Brothers Grimm. Those I really like. There was one, I think it's called in English it's called the Goose Girl. It was about actually with a talking horse, which they beheaded at some point, and the head still talked. So yeah, that was quite nice.
That makes absolutely no sense.
No, it doesn't.
It's silly.
That's just... Megan Badger asks the next question. Tour story. Do you have a favorite memory of a place where the landscape made an impression?
Arizona.
Yeah, there are many
Arizona.
places in the US. But as you mentioned earlier, Thaddeus, the tour in Spain, we went to a place in northwestern Spain called Vigo.
Yeah, Vigo.
Yeah. Wasn't that
A nice town.
Yes,
That was a nice town. I'd never heard about anything from that side of Spain, and I was very surprised how nice it was.
Is that Spain? Isn't that Portugal? I'm sorry, I'm
No,
not sure.
no,
I think
it's Spain. It's
Could be
the very northern border of Spain,
Right. Okay.
between
Beautiful.
Spain and Portugal.
Yeah.
And Vigo is actually a very well-known port for people, for fishermen in Faroe Islands.
Uh-huh.
There's a lot of boats that went to there to get, to fix their boats or something there. So,
Okay.
but it's a very nice town. I
It is.
loved it. But I would say I took, well, we all actually took a walk in the mountains in Arizona. That was fantastic. I
Yeah,
think.
that was nice.
In Phoenix.
We had a very nice run in the hills.
Yeah,
Heri and I. That
Beautiful.
was cool. That was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Japan also, and of course, I mean, for me, the first time in the Faroes, it was amazing, and it's always that. So
Norway in the
Norway, yes.
Gudvangen.
Oh yeah, I thought
think I
if
pronounced
ever
that
I saw
right.
something
Gunnar.
nicer than the
Oh.
Faroes, that must be it. The Gudvangen Valley.
Definitely.
That was nice.
Yeah. Holy
Megan
moly,
Badger
that's a
asks,
nice place.
Gunnar, what's your favorite thing about space?
Ooh, nice question.
They just
Favorite
opened.
thing?
They just
I
opened the
guess
space station
that,
close to the Faroes.
They did? Where?
Shetland.
Oh, okay.
Shetland.
No, anyway, that was what I
Well,
would
I
mention.
think-
But
Yeah. No, favorite thing about space, I think space leaves you wondering what's out there, and that's what I like about it. It's full of mysteries, and all there to be solved many thousand years from now. So it's kind of cool.
It's fascinating, deeply fascinating.
And here the other night we had such a beautiful, clear skies in the evening. I was watching the stars. It's mind-boggling how beautiful
when
it is.
When you think what it is you're looking at, yeah, it's mind-boggling.
Yeah, and also when you actually think what you're looking at is something that already has happened a long time ago. That it's you're looking into the past actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and that is very mind-boggling. It's hard to think about actually. So.
Next question comes from.
It's all very exciting. Yeah.
Comes from Sarah Paris. She asks, Heri, has anyone ever grabbed your ankles and yanked you off the stage? No, that never happened. Some strange things happen. Really? Go ahead,
but
tell.
No, actually nothing here. But in the first band me and Heri were in, we were play. I actually don't think you were on that one. We played on the island where you were originally from. Yeah. And my strap broke, so I was sitting down on the stage, and someone thought it was fun to just yank me off the stage.
What on earth?
Oh man! So, and I remember this vividly because I remember our other guitar player. I just saw him like he came flying over me. It looked like he was. It was like something from a karate movie or something. He was flying with his guitar. Yeah! Jumped on this guy.
No, I definitely wasn't there. I would remember that.
No, I don't think you were. So I'm quite sure actually.
Next question. Connor Edward Hurley asks, "What's your favorite venue?"
Well, one of those has to be the Independence of the Sea.
Oh yeah, there's a good one. But
that's really... for those who don't know it, it's the ship where 70,000 tons of metal happens. Well, it used to happen. It's just so amazing. But of course, in terms of classic venues, clubs, I have to say, I mean, it's kind of small and it's kind of, messy or underground, but I really love the Riot Room in Kansas City. It has a very nice vibe.
Yeah, it does. I think one of my... Go ahead, Gunnar.
I think, well, I can mention several, but there's especially, I really liked, it's not there anymore, it was in Hollywood, the
House of Blues.
House of Blues there, and also the House of Blues in Chicago. Absolutely wonderful place.
That's a good place.
So,
The first one that comes to my mind as a good venue is Z7 in Switzerland.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yes.
Which city is it?
That is in
Pratteln.
Pratteln, yeah.
Not only is it a great venue, they have extremely good crew there.
Yes.
Nice catering, nice people,
the service is
beautiful
fantastic.
Place. And I love to go jogging there. I mean, it's so much to see. Such a beautiful place.
And I have to say, the place is gone as well as for now a couple of months. Týrcast in Budapest. That was one of my favorite venues, but of course they had to take that away and put a fucking hotel at the place. So thanks for nothing.
What was the place we played at?
Guys, we are over 1 hour now. Let's try to wrap it up. Bandmate challenge section. The challenge until now was to stay vegetarian for 2 weeks. After 1 week I failed. I had our manager visiting here. He spent half a second convincing me to accept some nice meat that he was going to order. So I did it for a week. there's some nice food to eat when you're a vegetarian. Hummus and some other stuff. Tofu I was no fan of, but I could do it for longer if I put my back into it, but I didn't.
Guns?
Well, I made it so far.
Very good. Very good, man.
Yeah. Well,
I'm proud.
just one thing to say. It's I don't get it why you become vegetarian, because you miss out on such lovely food as meat, which comes in so many variants. And when you're a meat eater, you can just add all the lovely vegetables that you think are so lovely. You can add that on top of it. Isn't it amazing? So why leave it out? Come on, you're missing out, people. No. Other than that, it was not that difficult, but it's a bit difficult up here to actually get something interesting going with vegetables and stuff. And when you buy vegetables here, you have to eat everything right away.
Yeah.
Because believe me, it does not last. Unfortunately. So
Thaddeus, you turned vegan?
Yeah, I turned vegan because just for those who don't know, I'm a vegetarian since 1988. To be precise, since 1988 I ate meat 3 times. So, I'm more or less vegetarian. And I turned vegan, and unfortunately yesterday I got drunk and I ate some cheese. So
yummy.
So I am the winner.
Yes, you are.
You are. Well done, Gunnar. Now here's my challenge. Here's my challenge until next time. Pick one day and eat nothing for a whole day.
Okay.
That is no breakfast, nothing during the day, and that means you don't eat anything until the next day's breakfast.
And what about drinking? Only water?
Only water.
No coffee?
No coffee.
Not
No
even
tea?
black coffee?
Nothing. Water, drink water only, and eat nothing for a whole day.
Okay.
I'm in.
Okay, I'm in.
Try that.
I'm in.
And by the way, I did not even eat bread or anything during this thing.
Very
really?
good, man.
Nice,
Very
nice.
good.
No bread,
Cool.
almost no butter, but I did have to eat eggs.
You said
Well,
butter.
At least have something. Yeah, butter. So, yeah.
Good. Very good.
So tonight I'm gonna have a burger.
yes, you deserve
Good
it,
on
man.
you.
You deserve it.
So while everybody's thinking about what burger Gunnar is going to eat, I would like to remind you to follow us on Instagram, where we are Týr_official. You can follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, where we are Týrband. You can track us on bandsintown.com/Týr, so that you don't miss our wonderful shows and tours once we finally go on tour again. Please listen to our music on whatever corrupt, crappy, shyster platform you happen to listen to us on. But please go to our website also, Týr.fo, and order either an LP or a CD. That would really make a great difference for us and for you.
Or a
because
patch.
you just look cooler when you have it on LP. Hey, you can be hipster. Isn't that all the rage these days?
I think it was until 2018, wasn't it?
Never mind. I'm not on that. I'm not on that train.
We're old. Even I am old.
And you're the youngest.
And I'm the youngest.
Yeah. If you go to Týr.fo, please sign up on the front page for the Týr newsletter. And as Tadeu said, get that nice patch that he has there, or some other nice merch while you're at it. If you want to put a question directly to us, you can do that at patreon.com/Týrband, and we'll answer your questions here on Týrcast, as we just have with the multitude of questions that were put to us. We put out episodes on the 7th and the 22nd, Gunnar, you went dark again, of each month at 1700 Central European Time. That's 5 p.m. Thank you for listening, and we hope to see you back here on the 7th of March at 5 p.m. Central European Time. Das wird Daniel.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Alle.
Bye.
sickle.